cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. I'ma need all the fries you can give me, all the hot sauce, all the pie you can give me. Better be all or nothing, don't have me in the middle. You better be all you can, yeah. Super fly for the Dumbos, plenty slides I can shuffle. Hit the cadence on my young Isaac Hayes, Billy Ocean, but the old with the cane stick. Let my slippers at the function. It's hard to run the Gucci slides. That you say you didn't never. I'm a step no. Jackie Chan, no travel. Can't clean it with the beat. Dripping from the. No, Lord, not me. I can never be the one you want to stuff for. Money, that machine. They fell down my stove. R.I.P. the times that I was broke. Acting like a 9/11 folks. Matte black, looking clean. Dead places in and I'm a local. Cooking up canard. Waiting for the antidote. Running out of time. Pictures thinner than a penny hoe.
Go ahead, empty your pockets. I don't do that. In my prison, you do what I tell you to do. Get over here. He's gonna get nasty.
One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, look at the cash bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling.
My have an all-white ring. Couldn't hit if it had ain't. Lanes can't call and you lame. You had it and you lost it, all the shame. I can buy a Billy, don't talk to me. For a show 150, don't talk to me. You ain't never help your mans, don't talk to me. You just follow all the trends, don't talk to me. I set the bar, I'm the bar. Like in the sky, I'm a star. I don't fall in love cause I be loving. They ain't like my shirt, extra large. I don't care, I crash a ghost. Got 2 cribs in 2 states, I be doing the most. I got white folks money that I won't blow. And if you ask why, cause the white folks don't. Big bank, tight, low bank. Big bank, tight, low bank. Type of money you gon' need to sight. The type of money you gon' need to buy. From the hood, this type of money make you stay away. Type of money gon' let you. Big bank, tight, low bank. Big bank, tight, low bank.
Everything proper, no propaganda. Tropicana gold yard bandana. Big, a lot of like Santa. Threw a birthday party in a phantom. Big like a dinosaur did it. And you know, shining like acrylic. Yeah, I had cornrows. I can see you hang with the door closed. Now I'm looking for a glove with a sparkle on it. And my got chocolate on it. Big bank, take small. Bank account on some tall. Attitude on some. Bankroll on what it do, boo. He had the roulette vibe. And if I ain't did it yet, I'll try.
Big bank, tight, low bank. Big bank.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead. And we're off in week 2. Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line. But I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call. Yeah, this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. Flushed out right. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Second down, Mariota. He's going to fire one deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Give him 30 yards there. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Let's go. One. Keep it rolling.
Mariota on first down. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is going to be 49er football. He had gained really good yardage, but that's what you tell your quarterbacks, right? Get down after you got the run.
You don't have to prove your toughness. You know, I think that's what a lot of coaches are trying to preach to their guys. Get the yardage, get down, protect the football, and protect yourself from extra hits as well.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Garoppolo to throw on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Nice move on the play, but he will be brought down shy of the 15. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on fourth down. Here comes the 49ers punter now. Corey Coleman back deep to return. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. New York set to take the field. And they got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. He'll get this out to Barkley complete, and he'll be corralled right around the 34. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A first down carry for Barkley. And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Mariota now on second down. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. First down, Mariota. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
From the gun, Mariota. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Give him 30 yards there.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Mariota now to throw on first down. Here comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. And they will finally stop him, but a great return gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster, 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. A handoff to Barkley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, These pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. On third down, Mariota to Barkley on the check down. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down. Aldrick Rosas now to try the Giants' field goal. And the kick by Rosas is good. And the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Garoppolo to try again on 2nd down. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 at a 1st down. This is Breida, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo, and that is incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken around the 12. Now, nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
the kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they'll think,
rush coming, and he's taken down. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. To throw Mariota. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Mariota from the gun on 3rd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A first down throw for Mariota. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So after the INT, it's Garoppolo. He's going to let this one go deep. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. So with a big gainer anyways, he'll go ahead and take that instead of the pass interference call.
They didn't need the penalty. It would have been different, right, if they had somehow lost some yardage somewhere, but they did not. Gained all they could, down to the spot of the foul. Nothing to be gained by taking the penalty.
Here's Breida, and this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Wait.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to the booth right after this. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. To throw is Garoppolo. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. They run with Breida, and he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, and it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal. So on comes Cairo Santos now for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, and that will tie us at 3-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Mariota. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there, a 22. Mariota now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Mariota now. And this one is incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Keep it rolling.
Mariota. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on second down, and that leads to a tough third down call. Now whistles here and a flag down. I think a Giant jumped early. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, third and long. To the air again, Mariota. Eluding the pressure right. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Garoppolo looks to throw. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So the sack of Garoppolo. 21. And now what can they come up with on third and long? Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Again, it's Barkley. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. In on the stop, it was Travarius Moore.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Giants on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And the Giants send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he's able to get up here to the 26. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Fielded just inside the 30. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach Can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The tackle there by Richard Sherman. Mariota now on second down. Flush to his right. And this is incomplete. But pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Now Mariota. Oh, he's got a little daylight, and just shedding him off there. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have him set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line.
All right, Brandon. Normally when you hear about guys making 2 interceptions in a game, you're thinking must be a free safety, maybe a corner. How about getting 2 picks out of one of your linebackers? Again, he's just in the right place at the right time. And that's another great play.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. A great read, and it's picked off. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
DeForest Buckner in on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mariota. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Back now here in Santa Clara. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Mariota. Flushed out right. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Giants are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? They still can't get it. Gets this one left side to Pettis. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards. Now it's Breida. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On play action, it's Garoppolo. Pulled over the middle. It's Mills. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. Throw left side complete. That's Mills. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. A gain of 6 there on first. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Garoppolo looks to throw once more, and the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, that allows your blitzers to get there.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Mariota now to throw on 1st down. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now Saquon Barkley. And an alley to run. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Three. Keep it rolling.
And with a play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Second down, Mariota. Wide open receiver complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. From the gun, Mariota. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Here's Mariota. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. They'll go to Barkley again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw, Mariota. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And Rosas puts this one through. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
That was a beautifully executed screen pass. Let the rushers get upfield. The blocking forms in front. Lofted it to the runner. And now, not only does he have open space in front of him, he's got an escort as well, and they pick up big yardage.
Garoppolo on first down. He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. He's back to throw. Throw left side, caught by Goodwin. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Garoppolo to Goodwin there for a 49er first.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. Back to throw. Now a desperation throw, deep down. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. Another costly turnover there, second of this second half. And earlier when I asked you your keys to the second half, you said, hey, it may be trite, but I think it's turnovers. That's coming to fruition.
It certainly is, and let's face it, they named the game after it, right? So isn't it the most important thing?
What,
it's football. Exactly. They named a game for it. Take care of it.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley, and he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Throwing here, Mariota. Dancing to his left. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And a return will stop right around the 25. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable 3rd down. Clock now under 30 ticks and running.
21.
They'll look to throw. Goodwin able to haul it in. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now they've got to signal that field goal unit, and they have to sprint out there in a hurry.
And this is always difficult on the snapper because his heart rate is way up there. He's got to calm himself enough to make an accurate snap.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now.
11.
One final try now for Garoppolo. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. Defensively now, one more play to stop. What are they looking for?
You want to take away their #1 running option that you've scouted and take away their #1 receiver and see if someone else can beat you.
2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here.
11. White. 12.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that is going to seal this victory as time runs out. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for the Giants, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll return home next week to take on the LA Rams. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they'll drop to 0-2.